red, white, and blue. And you know I'm on the right side. I don't know about you. I can't wait to see pedophiles going to jail. The whole mix was surviving that cell. In this whole right now, know you can tell. To the beast that they all gotta feel. Ay, in this country, we have freedoms. We the world's last hope. And we know that Trump was chosen. That's why he one of the ghosts. And I know that it's a cold world. You better get a coat. I might wear my MAGA onesie and my big hat when I vote. And I know that it's a cold world. You better get a coat. I might wear my MAGA onesie and my big hat when the Lord's on my sorry. It's a MAGA party. They said I wouldn't make it. Now my music charting. And you know I'm so 2A. I don't play boy, I'm not Cardi. How we can is social. I cannot ride with Cardi. But the liberals, I'm not sorry. It's a MAGA party. And they said I wouldn't make it. Now my music charting. And you know I'm so 2A. I don't play boy, I'm not Cardi. I ride with Candace Social. I cannot ride with Cardi. Obama failed us for 8 years straight. 45 trying to make us great. Democrats just.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, sorry about the little delay. I had to just get a few things together here. But welcome, folks. How are we all doing? It's a little bit sad, right? It's a little, well, I don't even want to say bittersweet because we know that very hard times and very bad times are upon us. So I guess it's just sort of a bitter moment in general. But, you know, as Dr. Seuss said in a very famous quote, I think it was Dr. Seuss, to be honest. What did he say? He said, don't cry because it's over, be happy because it's happened, right? And that's the theme of tonight's stream, because obviously I'm going to make a disclaimer with this stream too. This is not like a concession speech. Oh my god, I can't talk. Concession speech. This is not me saying that I'm going anywhere. There's not anyone saying that we need to give up, because the fight has just started. You know, this is like the last few years, I guess you could say we were on the offensive in it all, right? We were doing our thing, having fun. Now it's the opposite. Now we're going to be the ones playing defense. And we cannot lose that fighting spirit. We cannot go anywhere. So don't let this seem to you guys like I'm giving up, or it's like, okay, guys, we had fun. Bye-bye, guys. No, we're about to be in for, as a country, I don't know about you, but as a country, we're about to be in for some of the hardest times of our lives, okay? Of our country's life, okay? So don't let that be anything. I just felt like we owe Trump this. And you know, it's just a nice little thing before we go into hell. Have a little bit of fun. Have a little bit of reflection, okay? So that's what this is. Let me see if that's uploaded yet. Hold on, give me a second, guys. Let me just, I need to text my Telegram channel that I'm live so we can get more people in the stream. So give me 1 second there. Don't go anywhere. But how are you guys all doing? Put in the chat right now. Tell us how you're doing today, how you're feeling today, okay? Let us know in the chat right now, all right? How are you doing? I care how you're doing, okay? So have fun in the chat. Tell me how you're doing. But let me just text my Telegram channel real quick that I'm live. Live right now on YouTube. Trump farewell stream. Come join us. All right. With that being said, let's get started here. Okay. So, the last 4 years have been nuts. Like, it's. Yeah, so, you know, there's been a lot of good over the past 4 years. There's been a lot of bad. To be honest, there's been more good than bad out of the political scene, in my opinion. But we should just all stand back and think for a second, realize this, of, like, I know politics moves very fast, and we really never had time to step back and appreciate just how crazy Donald Trump's pure existence in politics was, okay? And it doesn't feel nice. It doesn't feel nice to have the establishment counterpunch you 4 years later. It doesn't feel nice to have the establishment take full control back again, and now they're gonna, you know what they're about to do. But for a second, let's just realize that like I said about the Dr. Seuss quote, don't be sad because it's over, be happy that it happened. It was a huge positive step in the right direction of this slowly crumbling republic that we have. That this guy, freaking Donald Trump, okay, comes from first president in history, comes from absolutely nowhere. First president in history that didn't have any prior political office or wasn't a military general. This guy came out of nowhere, won the Republican primary by landslide. Okay, don't let any in 2016. Don't let any revisionists tell you otherwise. Donald Trump dominated that Republican primary. It was never close. Okay, it was never close. Jeb Bush didn't stand a chance early on. Ted Cruz didn't stand a chance later on. Trump swept it. Okay, the guy came from nowhere. The guy, for the most part, funded his own campaign, and there we are. Like, has anyone ever stopped and thought to themselves just how crazy that is? Just how nuts that is? And of all the black pill, I know there's a lot of doomer talk. I'm basically a doomer right now, but we got to boost morale, okay? For 24 hours, let's boost morale a little bit before we get completely run down by the Biden years. That happened. Trump basically proved that the political system is not entirely rigged to the point where you can't do it. Obviously, 4 years later, the establishment hit back, but you know what? He laid the model. And now it's up to us to carry on the America First message, quite frankly, okay? Exactly. Trump was gangster in that election. And this is the story of most people. I didn't like Trump at first, but over time, I came to know who he really is and what he's accomplished. Listen to me, guys. Years from now, let me tell you, I'm predicting this. Years from now, most people in this country will look back, and it's gonna take a lot for this to happen, in the sense that years from now, when everything is burning, when everything is screwed up, when the country comes crashing down, a lot of people are going to look back and realize that Donald Trump was just trying to help. He was just trying to save us. And, they're going to regret. They're going to regret the fact that they bought into what the establishment was telling them. They're going to regret the fact that they didn't see it then. They're going to regret the fact that they were so narrow-minded. They were so narrow-minded just to only focus on, oh my God, I don't like Trump's rhetoric. I don't like the way Trump speaks. And they're going to wish that they had, prioritized more important things and had stopped viewing politics in such a childish way in the sense that, oh my God, Orange Man bad, Trump bad. I don't like his personality, so therefore I'm going to go vote for the worst candidate to ever exist, okay? And yes, it does come down to the narrative. And listen, I'm not saying that the establishment is ever going to like him. They're never going to like him. But there are many things that Americans believe in this country, whether you want to realize it or not. There are many things that Americans believe in this country that the elite in our country, whether that's, historians, academia, politicians, the media, there are many things that Americans believe in this country that go against what they want you to think, and Americans just believe it and see it anyway. And frankly, that's how it's going to be with this. I don't think the history books 100 years from now, assuming we maybe we win the culture war. Okay. So maybe I should have stopped talking like such a downer, but assuming things continue to go the way they're going, 100 years from now, the history books are probably going to remember him very poorly, assuming these people still are writing the history, which is the exact opposite of what we wanted, the exact opposite of what we're fighting for. And so don't let that ding your morale. Okay. This is a morale boosting stream, not a morale destroying stream. But I think a lot of people, like 30 years from now, 20 years from now, maybe even like 10 years from now, depends how fast we slide off the cliff, are going to look back, not going to listen to what people, the elites and establishment tell them, because guess what? Americans as a whole, as in general, as people, are actually pretty distrustful of elite institutions in our society in general. So it's not like the media entirely controls the narrative yet. But I bet you a lot more people are going to look back on these years on Trump fondly. When they realize who these people really are. And I'm not just talking about Joe Biden. I'm talking about our entire political establishment. When they realize who these people really are, what these people really want, They're going to be like, I wish I had seen it then. And you know what? Someone mentioned Reagan in the chat. This happened with Reagan. Most people, like Reagan, I guess it's sort of shifted back in the last few years. But for the last like 10 years, Reagan has been remembered very fondly in this by both sides. Like the Democrats liked Reagan, Republicans liked Reagan. He was just seen as like a very good president in general. But back in the 80s, when he was president, it wasn't like that. I mean, don't get me wrong, he was a pretty popular president, but a lot of people who now look fondly back on Reagan were not fans of Reagan back then. They hated Reagan back then. And then now it just over time, and Reagan was not a perfect president by any stretch of the imagination. There are a lot of things I think he did that were terrible. But like in general, better president than most, right? And people had a long run of bad leadership. And they started to look back and realize, hey, you know, Reagan was actually pretty good, all things considered. That's what I bet you that's what's going to happen with a lot of people in Trump. Okay. So nostalgia, man. Nostalgia. But and that's the silver lining in all these 4 years. Like I can tell you a lot of people are going to look back on this fondly. And for conservatism, the entire conservative movement in America owes Donald Trump, I don't want to say everything, but basically everything, okay? Like we owe everything. We owe our entire survival to Donald Trump going into the future. And I've already made a lot of videos talking about this, but I'll give you the Cliff Notes version. Electorally speaking, when you look at politics, the Trump working class brand of populism saved our party. Like it actually saved our party. A lot of people say, well, you know, Hillary would have lost regardless. She was just a bad candidate. So Ted Cruz or whatever would have stepped in and been able to win. And I actually have objection to that. I think Ted Cruz, someone like Ted Cruz or whatever, and I like Ted Cruz, but someone like Ted Cruz and whatever would have done better in the popular vote. Like, don't get me wrong, nationally speaking, Ted Cruz would have probably not gotten killed in the popular vote the way Trump did in 2016. But electorally speaking, he either, in my opinion, would have either lost or won a very close victory. Why do I say that? The Midwest. You look at the Midwest, we know that Trump's brand of working class populism won those states in 2016, like Michigan, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin. And I've done a whole video basically outlining you need those Midwestern states to win. Ted Cruz conservatism, old school conservative. First of all, the George Bush conservatism, we know that's a disaster. But even like the Tea Party's brand of conservatism that Ted Cruz carries doesn't have the strongest appeal in the Midwest. It's Trump's working class appeal that gave us the Midwest in 2016. And now is the reason why the Midwest is a battleground. Okay. So a lot of people say that Trumpism killed our future party. No, it saved our future party. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. I mean, that really is just the truth. More than that, he taught all of us how to fight, you know. Conservatives for so many, the Trump years were just the start of something for conservatism, right? It was if more than anything, it was an awakening in conservatism. A lot of, you know, you hear a lot of conservatives now say, we lost the culture, we need to take back the culture. That all started under Trump. I mean, don't get me wrong, conservatives have always sort of complained that the culture was sort of sliding off the cliff, but it really started under Trump where, you know, this guy comes in and he says, look, there's more wrong in our country than our deficit is too high. Our deficit is too high, but there's more wrong in our country than just our deficit is too high. And, you know, he's not a particularly he was never like a super well-spoken person. He doesn't, to quote John Doyle, Donald Trump, he never really knew things, right? But he had the right instinct. He had this pulse on, you know, the heartbeat of this country. He saw, because, you know, sometimes when you read, this is going to sound sort of hypocritical, but when you read too many books and you put your face too deep in, like, you know, political philosophy and crap like that, quite frankly, to put it bluntly, your head gets stuck up your ass. Okay. Donald Trump, on the other hand, you know, to quote him himself, I don't read books, I write books, right? Donald Trump was so like outside of the regular political establishment that he could see it. Okay, he could see it. He could diagnose the problems. Now it's up to us to stop it. Okay, but real quick, I've actually been filibustering this whole time because I wanted to play this video. Some of you guys might have seen it. I posted on basically all my social medias, but this video right here, as we look back, and it's finally done uploading. It took way too long, but as we look back on the Trump years, this video right here comes from my camera roll. Okay, so all this stuff is straight from my phone of stuff I witnessed the past 4 years, and it's sort of a cool little thank you tribute to Trump. So here you go.
If I give you one message to hold in your hearts today, it's this: treat the word impossible as nothing more than motivation. Relish the opportunity to be an outsider, because it's the outsiders who change the world and who make a real and lasting difference. The more that a broken system tells you that you're wrong, the more certain you should be that you must keep pushing ahead. You must keep pushing forward.
Like I said, morale booster, okay? Because listen, we have very hard times ahead of us as a country, okay? I know Trump gave today like the generic farewell address of a politician where he's like, I believe in America, all that stuff. Listen, okay, yeah, he's giving a generic farewell address as a president, but we have hard ass times ahead of us, okay? And unemployment line, here we come. There's truth to that, and I'm not rooting for it to happen. Listen, I'm not one of those people who says I hope that things get as bad as possible so that way people wake up finally and start voting for us and realize the truth, right? I don't subscribe to that idea, because you don't. Yes, theoretically, maybe that'll work. Like, it has to get bad for people to wake up. And there is some truth to that, where it's like things have to get really bad for it to wake up. But I don't root for that to happen. Not just because like that means a bunch of people are going to have to suffer, and that's kind of messed up, but also pragmatically speaking, you actually don't know what's going to happen when things get really bad. Okay. You might think it's like, oh, easy. Then everyone's going to turn to conservatism. How do you know that? They could also just turn to communism. When things get really bad and the state of things gets terrible in a country, you really cannot predict what's going to happen. And you might think, oh, it's going to turn out great because everyone's going to be on our side now. What if it doesn't? There have been many instances in countries where the state of everything is abysmal, and guess what happens? Instead of turning to the far right, they turn to the far left. So I don't root for that, but realistically speaking, there is truth to that. Okay, so you have a point. Pardon Joe Exotic. Actually, I'm not sure. I wonder if Trump's pardon list has been released yet, because I knew he said he was going to pardon people, and I have not seen that list. Donald Trump pardons. Maybe they're coming out tomorrow. Trump talked out of pardon. No, that's not it. I don't know. We'll find out his pardon. By the way, speaking of the inauguration, I said I was going to stream during the inauguration. I realized that the inauguration is at like 9 a.m. and most people are at work or at school. So we will stream tomorrow and have a more organized stream tomorrow. This is kind of just a vibe, just be nostalgic with us. Okay. But we will have like a stream tomorrow, but it's going to be in the evening. I'm going to do it in the evening when everyone is home from school and work and all that stuff. And maybe we can replay some of the inauguration and just talk about things and just diss on Joe Biden a lot. But we'll do that. We will do that tomorrow, but it'll probably be in the evening, by the way. Okay. Anyways, I wanted to talk about my personal journey through this presidency. Okay. Because some of you guys might know this. I started out, so I was never against Trump fully. But as many of you guys might know, I have a whole podcast explaining this. I did not start out as a conservative in my political journey. I started out as more of a progressive. But like I said, I was sort of like a free speech kind of progressive, which actually put me at odds. I was an anti-PC, anti-woke, pro-free speech progressive, which is kind of hip. When you really think about it, it's kind of an oxymoron, right? But that's what I genuinely used to believe. Sorry. And I had a lot of populist tendencies. So one thing I appreciated, I was a Bernie Sanders supporter. One thing I appreciated about Trump was, like Bernie Sanders, he was anti-establishment. He was anti-woke. He was anti-PC. Hey, I could appreciate that, because as much as I was left-wing on economics and wanted to give everyone free healthcare, I was also like, woke culture is immoral and stupid. But I man, I remember like 2015, I actually didn't know I was in 7th grade, so maybe you can forgive me for this. I didn't know who Donald Trump was. Like, believe it or not, I did not know. So I was just at my dad's house, and my dad was like scrolling through Facebook, and he was like, "Oh, what? Donald Trump, I guess, is running for president." And I was like, "Who's Donald Trump?" I actually didn't even know who he was. And then I used to watch like Conan. I used to watch Conan on his YouTube channel, right? And so all the late night talk shows that I used to watch in 7th grade and used to think were funny for some reason. In retrospect, I have no idea why I ever thought those were funny, and I greatly apologize for ever remotely giving platform to the idea that such late night shows are remotely funny. Natalie Vaughn says, "How did you switch from progressive to conservative?" I have a whole podcast. Go to I'm going to give you the shorthand version now, but if you want to hear the full story, go to my podcast. I have a playlist on my YouTube channel. It's called The Sound of Dao. Go click on that playlist. It's the very first episode that tells this story. But I remember Conan was making fun of Trump. Everyone was making fun of Trump. And I remember in that first speech, he said the whole rapists and drug dealers line, and everyone was like, "Oh my God, I can't believe he said that." But I was like, he wants to build a wall at the border. That's so like weird. That's so funny sounding, right? I thought Trump was like a joke for the longest time. It's funny. I think most people did. Most people that didn't support Trump thought it was a joke, and it was like, "Oh, he's never going to win." And then he did. To be fair, I guess that's the same story with Joe Biden in the Democratic primaries. It was like there's no. I mean, people didn't think he was running as a joke. People just thought he was a old buffoon fool that was just not going to last. And miraculously he did. So props to you, Joe. But I thought it was a joke for a while. And then he started. I remember that like those first few primaries, he's actually the polls show him leading in the race. And the first few primaries, he's winning. And me and my dad are both like, "What? No way! What? What is going on here?" We didn't see it back then. We understand it now. Then that election in 2016, that was something. That was something else. As I talked about in that one podcast, I talked about. I was never, like I said, I was never against Trump, but I hated Hillary. Like as a Bernie supporter, I felt like I was robbed, and I was never going to get on board with Hillary. So I wasn't supporting Trump, but I was kind of rooting for Trump to win in 2016. But I never thought he actually did. He would. First of all, I thought it was all rigged. First of all, I was like, Hillary rigged the primary against Bernie. He's going to do it against Trump too. There's no way she's just going to lose, right? I thought it was, and so because I was like, Hillary is the ultimate establishment, and our democracy is fake. I was pretty black-pilled back then. And then he won. And I was like, no way, that did not just happen. After that election, I didn't really care about politics for a while, but I did feel like the left-wing reaction to Trump winning was ridiculous and stupid. Like I've never seen people so hysterical in my life. And people might say, "Well, the stop the steal, that was the same thing." No, it wasn't. It just wasn't. Okay. That is still the most hysterical reaction I've ever seen to an election result in my life. It's still the worst. But oh boy. So his first year of his presidency was 2017. I didn't really care about politics in 2017. I sort of gave up and just worried about other things, right? But come 2018, I remember that was when they started boasting about the Trump economy. That was when the economy started to start producing like really good numbers. And I was like, well, how can I? Because I was starting to become less and less progressive as I just got older and more ambitious. I actually started to become like kind of ambitious, and I was like, hey, why the hell do people like just not work for the things they want? Like, I actually started to think that as someone who like used to want all this free stuff back when I was a lazy eighth grader, but in ninth grade, I sort of found passion and I started found like a work ethic, and I started to get like, and this is the part I didn't tell in the podcast because it's kind of like secondary, but I started like, working hard in school, and I was like, I don't know why people want all this free crap all the time. Why don't they just work hard and stop whining all the time? And that was like kind of how it all started, to be honest. But I saw these economic numbers, and I was like, I don't know how I can argue against that. I was like, what can you say? Like he's doing a good job, And so that's when and then March for Our Lives happened. I've told this story before, but that was when I started to get involved in politics, right? But I think this is true of most political commentators, social media influencers, you name it. I would never be doing this if it wasn't for Trump. Doesn't mean I'm going to stop doing it now that Trump he's not actually gone. He's never going to really be gone, because I'm sure he's going to make his own news network and be fully in the public eye. He might take a few months break, but I guarantee you he'll be back. But now that Trump's out of the White House, like it doesn't stop. We got to be here. This is like the most important time for us to be here. Hard times create strong men. But like without him, we wouldn't be here. Would you be be honest? If let's say, I don't know, even Ted Cruz. Ted Cruz is cool. I like him. But let's say Ted Cruz beat Donald Trump in 2016 and beat Hillary Clinton in 2016. He was the president. Would you be here? I mean, you might vote Republican or whatever, but would you really care about politics? Would you be in a stream like this? Would you be wearing a hat like this, like all around? No, you wouldn't. He brought so much energy to politics that just I don't think will ever be replicated, quite frankly. I remember back in October, I was speaking at a pro-Trump car parade, and this is in Redondo Beach, California. Okay, so this is like in Democrat country, and we're at this huge. It's like a convention center, right? That parking lot in a convention center, huge pro-Trump. I actually showed clips of it in the little video. Huge pro-Trump car parade. No notable speakers or anything, by the way. It wasn't like some congressman or senator was speaking there. Hell, I was like considered a profile speaker. Like that's how you know I wasn't even like people were coming for some big name guest. They were literally just there out in Southern California. We're like thousands and thousands of people here at like 9 a.m. on a Sunday morning. Whole parking lot full. Like never seen so much energy. And I remember I just stopped. I watched it all with my eyes, and I stopped and thought to myself, take it all in. Actually, I think I wasn't just me that said this. I think one of you guys commented this on the post too. They were like, take it all in, because all this energy, all this fun you're witnessing, take it all in, because you're never going to see it again. You will never see this much energy or enthusiasm for some politician like ever again in your life. Like I promise you that it doesn't matter who it is. You're never going to witness this ever again. So again, though, don't cry because it's over. Be happy because it happened, but that was something else. That was something else to witness. I've never this past election cycle, like I've just never seen people that enthusiastic to vote for a political candidate. I've never seen that. You guys might remember, I shared it a lot, but you guys might, if you guys have heard Tucker Carlson's the night before the election, November 2nd, he did a really good monologue where if you guys might remember the famous line, millions of Americans sincerely love Donald Trump, right? And he's like, they love him despite everything they've heard. They love him often in spite of himself. They're not deluded. They know exactly who Trump is. They love him anyway. They love Trump because nobody else loves. I have this monologue memorized because I've watched it so many times. It's just so awesome. They love Trump because nobody else loves them. The country they built, the country that their ancestors fought and died for over hundreds of years has left them to die in their small, unfashionable little towns, sneered at by the half-wits with finance degrees, I think he said, with no actual skills that seem to run everything all of the sudden, right? And he got that just insanely right. Butler, Pennsylvania, when are you ever going to see some presidential candidate have a rally where the crowd literally goes all the way to the skyline? You're just never going to see that. Like you will never see that ever again. And so I hope, I'm sure Trump will do some type of rallies, by the way, again. So I mean, you don't have to fully, but it's not going to be the same unless he tries to run again in 4 years, which I don't count out. I mean, I would endorse it. I don't know if it's going to happen, but I would endorse it. But so that's the nuance. Maybe it's not finished, guys. Maybe it's not finished. Maybe it's not truly over, because a lot of people have been saying, I'll just get into that later. Whatever. Let's just finish on this thought. What was I saying? Oh, you're never gonna see the whole skyline like blocked by so many people out to support candidates in like these small rural areas where just when will you ever witness that ever again? Of course, Joe Biden presidency is going to be the opposite of that. For God's sakes, the real reason why his inauguration is blocked off is not because of COVID. It's not because of security concerns. It's because they know nobody's going to show up and they kind of want to hide that. So they're going to make these excuses. Oh, COVID. Oh, security concerns. We can't let anyone into the inauguration now, But seriously, as pathetic as Joe Biden's enthusiasm is, I'm sure there will be some enthusiastic candidates in the future, but you'll never see them like Trump again. He is one of a kind. And I hope you really took it all in. I hope you went to at least one, Trump rally this election cycle. I hope, if not a rally, then a car parade. I hope you watched his last few rallies right before the election, because you just take it all in, because you're never going to see it again, at least, but thank God we were alive to see it, right? Thank God we were alive to see it. Stream the inauguration in case something crazy happens. Nothing crazy is going to happen, considering the entire thing is basically pre-recorded. Okay. No, we're not going to stream. It's too early in the morning. Like I have a class during then, and usually I'd be able to skip it, but it's like the beginning of the year and the chapter is really hard, so I can't really skip it anyway. But even then, most of you guys are in school and work during that time, so we'll have a post reaction inauguration stream at probably 4 p.m. Pacific time, okay? But we will stream the inauguration, don't worry, but just not yet. Not we're going to stream after the inauguration, I should say. Also, funny thing, Twitter verified Trump, then he was banned. A lot of verified people have been banned from Twitter in Twitter's history, actually. I wish I was able to go to one in person, but I live in a Democrat area. Well, like I said, hopefully you were able to, at least attend like some type of, maybe if you didn't see Trump speak himself, hopefully you went to some type of parade. Like there's a car parade out here in Southern California, a parade, a non-Trump campaign, but Trump rally, something. Hope you got to see something, because, it's history you're witnessing. You witness probably the coolest political campaign in history. And you know what? You might get to witness it again. Okay, I don't count that out. You might get to witness it again. And let's just talk about that right now. The future. I know this is supposed to be a thank you Trump stream, but I just always somehow find a way to think about what's coming next. Okay, because that's just how I think. I think proactively. Can Trump run again? Yeah, so of course he can. Trump can run again, but should he run again? Will he succeed if he runs again? A lot of people say no, and I understand their arguments. Before the Capitol riot, it was yeah, he can run again, but since the Capitol riot, that has definitely left a stain on his presidency, right? Optically speaking, it didn't look good on him. It made him very unpopular. A lot of people were angry at him. And it kind of was the last major thing that happened while he was in office, so it kind of just stains it all and makes it look kind of. But I'm going to counter those people. Yes, he can run again. Certain things have to happen in order for him to run again, but it can happen. Will it happen? I don't know. I'm not saying it will happen, but I'm just saying there is a window. And despite all that happened at the Capitol and how bad it made Trump look politically and how much his poll numbers dropped as a result of it, I would say yes. And the reason is, first of all, yes, right now it feels like the Capitol riot to a lot of people because they're just so hysterical. Okay, but yes, to a lot of people right now, the Capitol riot is like the worst thing ever, and was like they just can't get it off their minds. But we should also remember that people have very short memories in politics. Look at the year 2020. If you need any example, look at the year 2020. Trump built the greatest economy in the history of the world, and nobody cared. Okay? Once coronavirus hit and destroyed the economy, everyone forgot in like 2 seconds. And then George Floyd happened, and then it's like everyone forgot. Everyone just forgot. Nothing that happens before election year, and I would even argue before the second half of election year, matters. Ever. Okay? Ever. So by the time it gets to 2023, when the primary cycle is starting, I'm being realistic, folks. Also, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of civil unrest under Biden too. Nobody's going to remember this. Like, nobody's even going to remember the Capitol riot that strongly in their minds. Because look, people forgot the George Floyd riots like 6 months after the fact. So what do you think is going to happen 3-4 years later after the fact? No one's going to remember. Okay. So honestly, he can totally recraft his political image over the next 3 years. It's not that hard. People have very short memories. Voters are far more narrow-minded and nearsighted than people seem to give them credit for. Okay. But if the Biden years go as terribly as we're all forecasting, as the weatherman of politics, as we're all forecasting, it won't be that hard, to be honest. It doesn't even matter that Trump's presidency ended kind of chaotically. People will look at Biden and be like, oh, now I kind of miss the old guy, like I kind of just because things are a little bit worse. I kind of miss that. Right. And I'm going to say, especially this is the best way that Trump runs in 2024 is actually if Biden goes through with this immigration plan that is nuts. And by the way, I should point out, even a lot of left-leaning independents probably don't support. Trump can easily come back. You know why? What was Trump's main issue? What was the issue that Trump was mainly known for? Immigration. Both legal, but mainly illegal immigration. And now Biden does this crazy radical amnesty plan that, if he goes through with it and things start to get really bad, but also it will be amnesty. So the pathway to citizenship will probably be something like 5 years. So the electorate will still be intact for the time for the next few years, right? No better candidate if the immigration problem gets really we haven't talked about immigration a lot the past 2 years because it's been under control, relatively speaking. But if the immigration problem gets out of hand again, not only do I think Trump can run again, I think Trump is the best choice for the Republicans to choose because that's his issue. That's what everyone remembers him for. That's what he's known for. So if the issue gets to be really messy and really bad, and people are like, we want an immigration hawk as president, who else are you going to choose? Donald Trump. I mean, who else are you going to choose? Who else is a better pick? So maybe the best is still yet to come. I don't know if he's going to run again, to be completely honest. Well, I mean, we'll worry about that later. We have about 2 years where we just have to think survival, pure survival. But it can happen, But regardless of whether or not he runs or not, he didn't save the country because there's. I accidentally turned on Siri. That's really funny. He didn't save the country, but he took it a lot in the right direction. He was trying to. He really tried to. He tried his best. And I'm forever thankful for that, because he didn't just save conservatism, but he woke us up to a lot of what was wrong. He didn't wake us up, but he actually brought to the political mainstream a lot of what was wrong in this country. And that will be like his ultimate legacy. More than anything else, years from now, we're going to forget about a lot of his policy specifics. We'll remember the major things, like the wall, maybe that the economy was really good before coronavirus. Doubt it. Probably we're just going to remember he was really big about this wall. But his political legacy of that, he's gonna he took on the establishment. He exposed a lot of corruption. Some of it he tried to do. Some of it is just the corruption came to him and he was able to expose it. But he took on the system, and he woke up a lot of people to like, we need to take on this system too. This whole anger after you see at the establishment GOP. I think some of it is like, we should also remember, I'm not, like I said, I'm not a fan of starting a third party, but this whole reform the GOP, fix the GOP movement, it started because of Trump. Like Trump woke us up to this old crap we've been trying doesn't work. That was Trump that did that, He forever changed the way conservatives approach politics into a way that regardless of like whether we win every election is a winning message. We have to fight. We have to stand up for ourselves. We can't just let these people bully us. That will be his ultimate legacy. That will be ultimately what I remember him for, because I'm sure 10 years from now, I won't be able to name you half the things that happened president or half the things he did, but I will remember that, that was the guy that said America first against the billionaire globalist corporatist elite. That was the guy who said, we're going to take on the establishment in both parties. That was the guy who taught us to stand up to a lot of these elite institutions in our society that have quite frankly failed us. That's what we will always remember him for. That's what I will always remember him for, in the grand scheme of things. And of course, I'll remember all the fun. I'll remember waking up at 4 a.m. I remember waking up at 4 a.m. in the morning at my first political conference in Washington, D.C. It was TSAS. I think, it was TSAS through Turning Point. But I remember waking up at like 4 a.m. in the morning. Oh man, I'm gonna just tell this story. It's a fun story. So the first time I saw Trump was at this Turning Point conference in DC. It was during the summer, right? First of all, I had to fight like hell to convince my parents to go. How old was I? I was 16. Actually, some of the videos in that montage I have, some of the videos are from that conference of Trump. Yeah, was I 16 or 15? Yeah, 16. Okay, so I was 16. I just turned 16. And this was back when like my mom didn't really like the fact that I was doing this political stuff, because she felt like it was putting me in danger and stuff. And she's still right on that, but it is what it is, right? But this was before, like I was not big. My YouTube channel had like, it wasn't this YouTube channel, it was a different YouTube channel. It had like 100 subscribers. I had like 2,000 followers on Instagram. Really, I was nobody. But Lance Videos sends me this link. He's like, hey, you should come to this conference, right? And it has all these like conservative figures speaking at it. I'm like, dude, I want to go to this. This is so cool. And then I had to like fight with my parents so hard to let me go. Because they were like, you've never been across the country by yourself. How are you going to do this? Like, you don't, like, I was like, Mom, I'm old enough to fly on a plane by myself. I can do it. And like, it was because, now like they let me go to whatever I want. But it was like, the first time your parents are always like, they don't want to send you. And then once you come back alive, they're like, okay, this was that conference. And then I remember like, I finally convinced them to let me go. And then a few days before, it's announced that, hey, Trump is actually speaking at the conference. I was like, oh, let's go. So then the day that Trump is speaking, it was just chaos, because I think the day before they told us, it was like the second day of the conference. The day before they tell us, hey guys, this is a small venue, so we don't know if we're going to be able to fit everyone, right? They were saying, show up early in the morning, because we know we're going to be able to accommodate everyone. Everyone's going to get in, so show up early in line, right? And I remember people started lining up in the hotel lobby literally at like 8 o'clock the night before. Like there's just this line that starts forming up in the hotel lobby, and they're just like they're gonna stay up the whole night, right? And I was just like, okay, I'm not doing that. That's stupid. I was just like, okay, no, I'm not gonna just wait the night before. But it was really funny because at like 11 o'clock p.m. or whatever, whenever the lobby closes in the hotel, they kicked them out. They kicked these people out. This whole huge crowd of people that was just crowding the lobby of this hotel, right? Marquee Marriott, Washington, D.C. And they kick them out, and now they're just waiting outside. So there's this huge crowd, like huge line of people just standing outside in the middle of the night in D.C. And now it was just kind of funny to watch. And I was like, you know what, screw this. What I'm going to do, because I noticed, they kicked them outside. So I was like, okay, here's what I'm going to do then. Early in the morning, when they're going to open the lobby at like 6 a.m. or whatever, I was like, okay, you know what? Early in the morning, before they get let in, I'm just gonna go to bed in the hotel, wake up, go down in the lobby at like 6 a.m. and cut them all in line. Utilitarian, right? And so I remember I woke up at like 4 or 5 a.m. to get ready, and then I go downstairs and I hear rumors from everyone that they keep coming up. They're like, Secret Service won't let people in the lobby. They're kicking everyone out. So basically telling us that, hey, that huge crowd of people that's going in, they're going to get in first, because the people who just try to come down from the elevator and get in the lobby that way, they're not going to make it in. And I was like, watch me. Okay. So I go down, and the thing is, I didn't loiter. That's the thing. I didn't stand in one place, because they're people who just standing around trying to wait in line. They were kicking those people out. So what do I do instead? I walk around the hotel. I walk around like I seem like I have a place to be. And then I actually sat in a different place in the lobby and acted like I was a businessman trying to do some work, that little business area of the lobby where like you can print stuff out and work on your computer and stuff. And I was standing in there, and then it turns 5:59 a.m. in the morning, and they open the lobby, and it's like the Spanish bull run. Like everyone is just running out. This huge crowd of people is just creating a stampede. And then because I missed the time a little bit, so then I turn and I'm running toward the entrance of the lobby. And some of the people made it in front of me, but for the most part, I made it to the front of the line. Like they're coming this way, I'm coming this way, and I make it in. And honestly, that whole day was a mess. That was just utter chaos getting in there. Because first of all, the venue was small, the hotel was super small. But also on top of that, the people organizing it all didn't really even have the best model. So it was just ridiculous. But man, I was like 16 years old. That was the first day I saw Trump. And that whole conference, man, just changed my life. That was like when I've been doing the political stuff for like a year, but that really gave me like this new motivation to work really hard on it. I started to blow up. I started to like get big on social media. It all started from like a place where I went to go see Trump speak, man. Like I don't know where I'd be if I didn't go to that conference, like 2019. Yeah, second half of 2019. I don't know where I would be, man. I don't know where a lot of us would be. Honestly, where would any of us be if we if Trump wasn't there, man? Whew. Just crazy to think about. But there've been a lot of good memories over the past few years. It wasn't just that. I got to see Trump speak, was it 3 times in total? I'm trying to think if there's another one. No, 4 times. Actually, 4 times in total, because I got to also watch the I got to attend the event in DC that supposedly incited a riot, although that's not really true. But I'm just glad I got to see it. I got to witness it. We have hard times ahead of us, but right now it's just like I'm really happy that it happened. For the good and the bad. I don't know where my life would be totally different right now. Some people, it's like their life would be the same. Like yes, their political views might be a little bit different, but generally what they do in their life and how their life goes, that still remain constant. But that's not true of me. Like my life would be totally different without Donald Trump. Completely different without Donald Trump. Trump really did have an impact on the nation, unlike presidents in past decades. He was great, one of the best ever. No, he was one of the best ever. I've refrained from saying that for a lot of years of the Trump presidency because I was like, come on, guys, have some context. There were a lot of great presidents, but when you really take a look back at it, in terms of even not necessarily maybe in terms of like raw accomplishments or whatever, but in terms of the battle he fought and what he was up against and what he did to it, he is one of the greatest presidents ever. In that sense, like I said, how is he going to be remembered? He's not going to be remembered so much for his individual achievements. No president is. He's going to be remembered for the legacy he left behind on the issues that matter, fighting the issues that matter, taking on the issues that matter. And in that sense, he is one of the best ever because he woke America up to and he started fighting like one of the most important battles, maybe the most important battle that we've ever faced as a nation. I won't say the most important battle because there's the Civil War, there's World War II, but behind the obvious ones, we are in like a very pivotal fight for like the very soul of our nation, for the nation itself. And Trump really was the warrior in it. He was the general. He's the George Washington of it, Trump has changed the Republican Party for good. Absolutely. Absolutely. But listen, I'm confident actually that Trumpism will survive in the Republican Party, mainly because we are too strong. His supporters are too strong. Republicans realize, hey, we can't get away with like half-assing this stuff anymore. I saw historians say that Trump will go down as the best one-term president ever. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Of one-term presidents, he's definitely the best. I will miss Trump. We're all going to miss Trump, man. But it is what it is. Life goes on, right? But, even, I don't know if you guys saw this, but people have been people in West Palm Beach, right? Because Trump is going to return back to Florida. I feel like personally, I know the Mar-a-Lago's in West Palm Beach, but he should have a residence elsewhere. West Palm Beach is a crappy place. Florida's a great state, but West Palm Beach sucks, okay? It's full of old, rich liberals that hate him. He should go to a community where he's more welcome, like, I don't know, even like Orlando. More Republican than West Palm Beach. Even Miami is more Republican than West Palm Beach. But down in West Palm Beach, there are people already lining up on like freeway overpasses and stuff to greet him and say hi to him. And I saw a picture today. They're already there. The night before, Trump's not going to arrive to West Palm Beach for like 12 hours at least. People are already there. You're never going to see anything like that ever again. You're never going to see a presidency like that ever again, where like people sincerely care about him. They love Donald Trump. People love Donald Trump in a way that no future president's ever going to have. Seriously, none. Maybe I'm lying if I told you that. There's just never going to be like anything like that. And we conservatives need to focus on those that didn't stick up for our guy and get them out. Yes, absolutely. No, I think that the swamp creature GOP that has been working to purge Trumpism, we need to purge them. Absolutely. And it's fine to have some diversity of thought within the party. We have like Josh Hawley versus Rand Paul versus Ted Cruz. They're all a little bit different, right? But the people who fundamentally just did not fight for Trumpism or abandoned Trumpism or didn't stick up for Trump throughout 4 years, get them out. Liz Cheney needs to be primaried immediately. All Republicans who voted for Trump's impeachment, out of the party. Everyone fly to Florida to greet him back. Actually, Chandler Crump is there. I don't know if I'm even allowed to say that, but screw it. Hi, Chandler. Chandler Crump is actually there in West Palm Beach right now. I don't know if I think he's just there to like vibe and like he just wanted to take a mini vacation to Florida. It's nice this time of year, but he's actually there to. I told him like, yeah, you better go greet Trump when he comes home. Like you better welcome him home. No, Casey says, what mic do I got? This is a Samsung Go Mic Mobile. That's what it's called. It's from Samsung. tomorrow might be a wreck. There might be a bigger riot to take down the guards and get to Biden. No, there's not. I don't know what this talk has been about, why they've been so concerned about security at this event, but I strongly doubt that anything's going to happen. If anything, all the security is just there as a deterrence. But considering that the event in DC was widely promoted by every conservative, and now considering the fact that basically every conservative, like all of us, are saying stay out of DC, don't go to anything on the 20th, who's going to show up? How is there going to be a bigger riot? How's there going to be a bigger riot if literally no one is promoting this thing? Who is going to riot? Who is going to riot if all the conservatives are saying don't even show up to protest at all? Who's going to be engaged in that riot? And where's it going to come from, and who's going to be doing it? Just saying. Man Bear Pig guy says, I might move to Florida. I've recently tracked Man Bear Pig location to Florida. That is super, super serial. Okay. Think about it this way. In the short term, Biden is really bad. However, in the long term, people start seeing how bad him and the Biden administration is. The Republican Party will control U.S. politics. Ideally, yes. Ideally. But like I said, this whole idea of let things get as bad as possible so that we can get people to wake up, you don't know how it's going to end. And especially, hold on, out of focus, sorry. Biden's plan is to fundamentally change the American electorate so that we don't matter. Like, we don't matter. American voters don't matter. You look at the amnesty bill to give citizenship to 11 million illegal immigrants. If that happens, it doesn't matter. The Republican Party can't win anyway because the original American electorate doesn't even have the power anymore. You have the plan to give statehood to Puerto Rico and D.C., which will just rig the Senate for the Democrats forever. Then it's like, again, Americans don't control the American electorate anymore. So that's the problem. That's the problem I see with it. Hopefully Joe Manchin stands up to those things, but Biden goes really sour on some other things. I don't say hopefully, but if we're to go through with that, hopefully it's not the immigration issue that ends up getting bad, which is, I know I said earlier that, realistically speaking, forecasting it all, the best way that Trump gets back into politics is through the immigration issue getting really bad. But like I said, I don't root for failure, mainly because you don't know how that's going to end. You don't know how making things really bad is actually going to end. To be honest, nobody knows. Do you know if Chandler is having a live tomorrow or anything tomorrow? I'm not sure. I am not sure. I was talking about doing a stream with him, but I don't know what the status is on that. We haven't talked about it a lot, but maybe we can both stream tomorrow. I'll ask him or something. I'm not sure what we're doing. It's going to end with Man Bear Pig's rule. Okay, listen, Man Bear Pig, if we do not have a $15 trillion stimulus plan to stop Man Bear Pig, it is over for our country. So basically, America is doomed. Well, in many ways, most likely, but also I feel like if I say those things, it's gonna, like I said, I want to boost morale. I don't want to hurt morale. And I feel like if I say those things, it causes everyone to give up, which we can't do. We can't do. Because, we have a responsibility. Let me just say this. I got to change my camera to my normal webcam because my computer is about to die and I got to plug it in. But real quick, let me just say this. Okay. In many ways, we are fighting what seems to be a losing battle. And I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and say that everything's fine. We're going to be fine, because that's far from guaranteed. Empires collapse, societies collapse, countries fall. But I feel like if I simply sit here and tell you America's doomed, we're screwed, most likely, yeah. But we have a responsibility to the founders, to every single person who literally laid their life down to protect this flag that's changed over time and now has 50 stars. Every person who's fought, risked, sacrificed for the great values of this republic, for the great values of that Declaration of Independence, for this common American creed and this common American land we hold. We have responsibility to those people to do the best we can. Okay, we have the responsibility as people to not lie down and die and hand it all over to them. Let it, whatever. We're screwed. Give up. Pack it up, guys. Let's just sit in our houses and watch as Rome burns. Like, no, we have a responsibility to do everything in our power to. If we play it all right, like I said, I actually had a podcast yesterday. By the way, go watch my podcast from yesterday. It's on this YouTube channel. If we play our cards right, really get it right, we can save America. You know, we're not at that point. But most likely, our country's screwed. It's just going to go off a period. It's not that America's going to fall and become the communist states of America through a violent Marxist revolution. But most likely, the America that we know as the superpower of the world, as the premier idol and beacon shining light of the world, is not going to survive. The America that we hand over to our kids and grandkids is just going to be basically like another nation on earth. Like it's going to be weak politically, militarily. There's going to be a lot of third world aspects to it, politically speaking. Like we're going to have a lot of third world politics. Well, listen, it will still have. It's not going to turn into Somalia overnight, but it's going to. It's not going to be the great, amazing, spectacular country that we used to know it to be. Most likely, but we got to do our best. We got to fight. We owe it to all of our forefathers before us, right? We owe it to them. We gotta stand up and do the best we can to try to save this country. And by the way, we owe it to Trump as well, okay? Because Trump literally risked everything, sacrificed everything he had, everything he knew, the great life he had. He sacrificed that all to be a patriot and try to save this country. And he did a lot of good, in that process too. But the fight is not over. The fight is not finished. The fight is only just beginning. We owe it to all of those people, and we owe it to Trump to continue and to finish what he started, and to continue to stand up for what he believed and what the people before us believed until we die. Okay? We owe it to this country. Because you know what? It's a country founded and built upon great values, and we owe it to those people to stand up for those values. Anyway, give me a quick second, guys. I got to my computer's gonna die in a second, and I gotta plug it in, but I can't use the cool, nice looking webcam because it takes up the USB ports. So give me a second right here. Let me just plug in my computer. But anyways, tell me in the chat right now. Let's play a game. Tell me in the chat right now, what is your favorite Trump moment from the last 4 years, right? Like, is it destroying Jeb Bush at the debates? Is it the "you'll be in jail" quote? Is it Kofefe? Is it Rocket Man? Is it his tweet about ASAP Rocky where he pulled the worst and best pun ever? Is it, "oh, you went to Delaware State"? Is it that quote in the presidential debates? Tell me, what is your favorite Trump moment of the last 4 years? And I will tell you mine in a second. But because you'd be in jail, I knew this was going to be a popular one. I Am Moltrain says, "what kind of camera do you use?" I just got this a few weeks ago. This is a Canon EOS M50 Mark II. It's pretty nice. Like, I know it was kind of at a weird angle for this stream because I need to get a longer cord, but my streams are about to look really nice once I get this a better cord for this, so I can go up longer and get in the proper position. Because I know I used to stream on this crappy webcam I'm using right now, but soon, folks, once I get it all together, my streams are going to look amazing, and we'll stream more as well. But you'll be in jail, and Kofefe, him being the first president at the pro-life rally. Oh, that's actually a good one. Yeah, that's true. First president to ever be at the March for Life. Sad that the March for Life isn't happening this year. It's kind of not happy about that. But that is an underrated moment. You're right. Oh, wait. Hold on. My standing desk is being a little bit wonky. Oh, that's why. There's freaking tape stuck on this stupid thing. There you go. Oh, there we go. Okay. Sleepy Joe. Hey, Sleepy Joe. It's crazy. Sleepy Joe is like, is so, we're so used to it by now that it's not even surprising. But Sleepy, like, people sort of forget how iconic and hilarious Sleepy Joe was, and how brilliant it was when Trump actually first came up with it. And now it's like it's just become so synonymous with Joe Biden that we don't even think credit it to being a brilliant moment by Trump, but it was a brilliant nickname done by Trump. Who built the cages? Twitter in general, yes. Trump's Twitter account. Rest in peace, Trump's Twitter account. Trump's Twitter account is by far the greatest Twitter account in history, and Twitter is just not the same without him. Like, honestly, hopefully, I really hope Twitter goes out of business. I don't usually root for American companies to fail, but in the case of Twitter, I absolutely hope that Twitter's business is just absolutely destroyed and crushed as a result of this, because they deserve it. I think every single company that banned Trump, including the one that we're using right now, I hope they crash and burn. Mainly because that way I can finally get you guys to go over to Rumble and DLive, and, like, you know, I can finally establish those third parties. But also, I hope they crash and burn because they deserve it. They deserve it. They are basically the enemy of this country at this point. You know, our enemy. Who is really our enemy when you think about it? Yes, we criticize China for censoring their political opponents, and, you know, what they do is very terrible and evil. But the same thing happens in our country to a lesser extent, but the same general thing happens in our country. It's just at the hand of private corporations, and we're supposed to celebrate these things as great American companies. Oh yeah, Twitter. Look at companies like Twitter. Yeah, Americans made the internet. That's why America is so great. Look at the innovation of our companies. Like, no, look at that. That's a terrible example of American exceptionalism. Yeah, Twitter, real great example of American exceptionalism. Spread, you know, just endorsing and using the Chinese tactics that we always criticize openly on their app. Come on, man. Go home to mommy. That was a brilliant one. Listen, 2016 Trump is still the best Trump there was. 2020, I think 2020 Trump had the potential, had coronavirus not happened and we could have like a proper presidential campaign season. 2020 Trump could have topped 2016 Trump, but unfortunately he didn't have the opportunity to. And so for that reason, 2016 Trump will always be the best Trump there was. Rocky Trump was amazing. WWE did not happen while he was in his presidency, so that doesn't really count. But Rocky Trump, that was an incredible moment. If you guys don't remember this, actually, let me Google it right now because it was just so funny. Never mind. I'm not going to do that. It's just too annoying on the stream. No, but let me do it on my phone, actually. If you guys don't remember, some of you, I feel like some of you guys might have been too young, not maybe not young like in age, but too young in politics, where you never got to witness some of the most amazing moments of the presidency. Okay, but hold on. So I think this was in 2019. Yeah, this was when impeachment first began. Trump tweeted out this picture, no caption, no comment. He edited himself onto Rocky and just tweeted that out and posted on Instagram. No caption, no explanation, just posted it. And the media people went nuts, okay? Like the media was literally, I think I heard some pundits in the media literally talk about invoking the 25th Amendment on him because they were so outraged at his freaking The 25th Amendment, okay, folks? 25th Amendment, because Trump posted some like stupid meme of Rocky. It was the greatest thing ever. It was the greatest troll ever because people were just so angry at it, and it was incredible. Man, I missed that. That was so funny. We're gonna bring that back. Actually, I'm probably gonna post that like today or tomorrow or something. But his dances to YMCA, that was amazing. Trump or Reagan? Trump. Absolutely Trump. I'm gonna explain more about this on the podcast on Thursday. By the way, if you guys don't know, I have a podcast every Monday and Thursday. It's called The Sound of Dao. I post it on YouTube, but it's also on Spotify and iTunes. You guys should subscribe to it. Just saying. And rate it 5 stars if you're on iTunes. I remember it's hard for them to attack me because I'm no, you know what I liked? I liked Do you remember when Trump, the Democratic primaries were going on back when everyone was still in it, like Biden, Bloomberg, Warren, all those people, right? Do you remember when that was going on? But Trump was he seemed like he was almost bored, like he didn't have anything to do. So he would just commentate on the Democratic primaries. Like he'd give his thoughts like that. Those were the funniest. Like you could tell it. He would literally watch the Democratic debates and live tweet during them and give his thoughts. And it was like he'd give analysis on them too. Like Mike Bloomberg is never going to win. Like it was amazing. Okay. His commentary on the 2020 Democratic primaries will never be beaten. Those were so freaking funny. When he called Little Pump Little Pimp. What about when Jerry Nadler pooped his pants? That's not a Trump moment, but that is an iconic moment. That was hilarious. Underrated moment, quite frankly. Bing, bing, bong. The ASAP Rocky tweet it really was. You know what? Let's have some fun right now. Let me open a new tab. Okay. Share screen, Chrome tab. Let's have some fun, folks. Let's review best Trump tweets. Because I'm sure there's a bunch that we've forgotten about as well. Let's have some fun right now. And real quick, I hate this background, so let me put like a cooler looking background on it like this or something. Okay. Anyways, best, it's probably easier to see it if I do this, but let's see. Can you guys see that? Hopefully you guys are watching on full screen. If you guys are watching on like not full screen, then it's going to suck. But best Trump tweets. Hopefully you guys can see that. Just zoom in if you can't. I'm saying zoom in on a video. Aren't I brilliant? But okay. I don't understand why this is considered one. Let's go to an article actually. Donald Trump, no. Oh, Washington Post. I'm sure they'll really be angry about this, but let's see what they think about these tweets. Okay, here. The market mover. General Motors is set. No, I'm put funny Trump tweets. I don't care about his historically important. No. Funny Trump tweets. We're having fun. Jeez. Okay, screw this. Let me just go here. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. One. I forgot about this. Thank you, Kanye. Very cool. This is. This was an underrated moment of Trump's presidency, too. When Kanye came to the White. Oh, my God. This was amazing. Iconic, folks. Iconic right there. That will always. I actually used to say that a lot. I used to say, thank you, Kanye. Very cool. Kofefe, I mentioned this one, despite the negative. I know what happened here, too. Trump is tweeting out a tweet, and he actually spells coverage wrong. I know that's supposed to say coverage. He actually spells coverage wrong. But instead of auto-correcting it, he probably accidentally clicks the send button and just tweeted out. Amazing moment. That was just freaking hilarious right there. Incredible, folks. Incredible. It's me, your favorite president. That was great too. Remember when he tweeted out in Farsi when the whole thing with Iran was happening? That was quite a moment. Oh my God. This is before he even announced for president. But if Hillary Clinton can't satisfy her husband, what makes her think she can satisfy America? Oh my God. Legendary. Legendary. That's not really that funny, but it is a nice tweet. Congratulations to the Kansas City Chiefs on a great game and a fantastic comeback under immense pressure. You represented the great state of Kansas And in fact, our entire USA so very well. Our country is proud of you, and everyone went crazy about this. By the way, folks, let's actually point out part of Kansas City is actually in Kansas. Yes, 2/3 of it is in Missouri, but the other 1/3 is in Kansas. So Trump is not entirely wrong with this tweet, and people did overreact to it. But fine. To be honest, let's not all act like when we're tweeting out really fast and we're thinking really fast. Let's not all act like we don't all forget sometimes that Kansas City is actually in Missouri. Okay, but that was pretty funny. That was pretty legendary. Also, Carpe Donktum. Oh my God, the Carpe Donktum memes were absolutely the best. Okay, it is a shame he got banned from Twitter when he did, but Carpe Donktum was an absolute legend. Okay. Let's see what we got here. He told the fake news to chill. He says, the fake news gets crazier and more dishonest every single day. Amazing to watch as certain people covering me and the tremendous success of this administration have gone truly mad. Their fake reporting creates anger and disunity. Take 2 weeks off and come back rested. Chill. He told them to chill. Incredible, dude. Incredible. Kofefe is going to come up a lot. Kofefe was one of the best. I love this because Meryl Streep is so absolutely pretentious and self-righteous. Meryl Streep, one of the most overrated actresses in Hollywood, doesn't know me but attacked me last night at the Golden Globes. She is I don't need to hear what she said next. We probably know. Oh, this was a legendary tweet. To the Iranian president, never threaten the United States again, or you will suffer the consequences, like of which few throughout history have ever suffered. This was that was pretty legendary too. This is a real Trump tweet. I've never seen a thin person drinking Diet Coke. Unfortunately, I'm trying to search for the funniest Trump tweets, and I know what they are, but I can't see them here. This is always going to be a legendary one. I actually have this sticker on my computer. That's always going to be a legendary Trump tweet. I can't find the best ones though. That kind of sucks. But anyways, you guys get the point. Twitter is going to miss Donald. Actually, guys, I would honestly not be surprised. If Twitter brings back Donald Trump, believe it or not, I wouldn't be surprised, simply because despite all their attempts to promote a political ideology, they might in the end actually just give up because they're like, our business is hurting too much without Trump. Our social media site sucks. Guys, screw it. Let's just bring him back because we can't afford to not have him back. Wouldn't be surprised. That's not a defense of Twitter. I'm not gonna. They're still an evil company, but I'm just saying I could see that happening. Once Trump is gone, many social media outlets will see a huge decrease of traffic. Many news media outlets. Oh, don't forget about that. News media. What are they gonna do? Like, honestly, I know. Oh my God, the journalists are the worst people. But the journalist class, okay, they're so happy that Trump is out of office. They think they're so happy, but it's like, then what do they do? Because all these news media companies have built their entire business model off of hating Donald Trump. What happens when Donald Trump is gone? What happens when their big, bad, scary boogeyman is gone? Like, what do they do? What do they talk about? Most importantly, who's going to care? Who's going to care about what they have to say? Because, they've completely destroyed their whole journalistic aspect. They've completely destroyed their credibility, and have become these total opinion outlets that just spew anti-Trump propaganda. So it's not like they can just go back to reporting the news the way they did, because no one's going to listen. No one's going to take them seriously, because they've destroyed their journalistic integrity in exchange for all becoming political commentators and political pundits. Okay. But then what happens when their boogeyman that they always talk about is gone? What are they going to do? What are they going to do? Right? What are they going to do? I don't know. Good luck. Best of luck to them. I kind of hope they all fail and crash and, lose all their money. But, and, that also goes to people people always say that, oh my God, you Trump supporters just make liking Trump your whole personality. Like, it's not his personality trait. Like, they always say stuff like this. But in reality, it is not the Trump supporters who have built their entire personalities off of Trump. Some people, but not most of them. Most of the time, it's the people who have built their personalities and or their political careers off of hating Donald Trump. Like, literally all they do is just attack Donald Trump. What are they going to do? They've made that their entire life, their entire personality is just hating Trump. What are they going to do when Trump is gone? I hope, and I hope I know, and I know for a fact Trump is not going to totally leave the public sphere simply because he has too much energy. He's just not going to do it. He's probably going to start his own news media company, hopefully even his own social media outlet. I'm very much rooting for that to happen, right? But I hope for like a few months, just for a few months, Trump just leaves and just, retires in peace just for a few months. Obviously he's going to come back, but just for a few months, just live quietly. Just live quietly. Don't really do much. Because why do I want to see that? Not because I don't want to see Trump leave. Like, I love Trump, but I can handle a few months without him. The people who are ghoulishly obsessed with hating on him, what are they going to do when Trump just sort of just leaves for a little bit? What are they going to do? It's funny because they're going to be really happy at first, but immediately that happiness is going to turn into panic because then they're going to realize, oh crap, what do we do now? Oh crap, oh my God, I can't believe this. What do I do? My entire personality is just hating Trump. It's going to be hilarious. I hope that happens. To be honest, I feel like Joe and Kamala won't make the whole 4 years. Kamala, I'm sure she will. But Joe, I don't know about Joe, man. Please. I mean, people are talking about impeaching Joe Biden. Don't impeach Joe Biden. Not that the impeachment would even succeed in terms of removing him, but don't impeach Joe Biden. Because that means we're stuck with Kamal. I'm going to say her name wrong. I don't even care. These people deserve it. I've been saying her name the way she wants people to say it for the last few months, and I'm just done with that. So Kamala Harris, okay. Joe is bad, but Kamala Harris, hell no. You do not want her as president. So I hope Joe makes it to 4 years, but that is the wild card. Is Joe going to make it? Is he going to step down after a few years, maybe do like a year and then hand it off to Kamala Harris? Hope to God that Joe... throughout the campaign, we were like, oh, yes, Joe, please say as many stupid things as possible. Please mentally collapse. But now, folks, it is time to hope that Joe Biden is 100% mentally alert and Joe Biden is going to control as much of the government as he possibly can because you do not want it to be handed over to Kamala Harris and the people on his cabinet. Okay, that would be utterly terrible. That would be an utter disaster. Don't root for it. We want Joe to last 4 years, okay? Please, Joe, don't resign. We need him to last as long as possible, I'm telling you. Like Stephen Colbert, a cater. I don't know who a cater is, but yeah, Stephen Colbert is screwed. Because Stephen Colbert was never funny to begin with. Stephen Colbert is not funny at all. He is like literally one of the most unfunny people I've ever seen. But the only thing he had going was people who hated Trump tuned into him for anti-Trump commentary, right? And the Trump haters, the people who were just like him, sad, lonely, empty inside, and made Trump out to be their boogeyman and blame Trump for all their problems in life. Once they don't really have much to watch, they're gonna tune out, and Stephen Colbert is screwed because he's not gonna have anything to talk about. He's not gonna have anything to make fun of, and the people who watch him are not gonna enjoy what he makes. So. Pink Lady Powell from the law offices of Quackanon will save us. Look, folks. I told you guys on like November 5th or 6th, I said, it's not looking good. Most likely Joe Biden is going to win the election in terms of votes. And I also said, like, regardless of how much was actually stolen, most likely Trump is not going to win the legal cases because courts don't want to overturn election results because courts don't want to seem political. I said that, right? I said that. And a lot of people, I mean, if you're here, thank you. You're still here. A lot of people unfollowed me for that. A lot of people unsubscribed for that, even though I was like, look, I'm just giving you the reality here because I'm not going to sit here and lie to people, right? But I hope now all the people who were saying, "Oh my God, Trump, don't worry, Trump has a plan. Trust the plan." And I guess I can't say that because technically Trump still has a few more hours left in office, so they're still going to say till the very end, "Trust the plan, trust the plan." He's not leaving, but I hope once he leaves, at the very least, they'll stop following QAnon, okay? Because QAnon has now been proven to be fake. The initial part of QAnon was true, but now QAnon is just utter ridiculous conspiracy theories that whoever the original QAnon is not the person that is spreading QAnon now. It's just a bunch of people spreading random nonsense, right? So I hope people will stop buying into that. Don't get me wrong. There are a lot of conspiracy theories that are true. Okay, there are a lot of conspiracy theories that end up being true, and Alex Jones, for one, is someone who a lot of this country owes an apology to right now, because the things he's been saying for years, everyone thought was crazy, and now the dominoes are falling, folks. Everything that Alex Jones has been saying is coming. It's being proven correct. Okay, so I'm not saying disregard anyone who's considered to be a conspiracy theorist, but QAnon was stupid. Okay, it was stupid, and now we are basically shown that it was a lie, and everything they were saying beyond the initial QAnon, everything they were saying was a lie. So, I'm sorry, folks. Hopefully we'll stop with that. That's true. See, QAnon is like, this is, I guess you could say, the one aspect of MAGA that you could consider to be a cult. And listen, I know people who believe QAnon. I'm not saying you're a bad person, but I'm saying you're misguided and you're thinking irrationally, you're acting irrationally. It's like they keep saying, trust the plan. This is going to happen, and it doesn't happen. Okay. Well, maybe you were just wrong on one thing. But then they keep saying it. They keep saying, now this is going to happen. This is going to happen. Now it's going to be this. Now it's going to be that. And every single time it's wrong. It's wrong. It's wrong. It's wrong. Like over and over and over again. Continuing to follow something that is repeatedly proven to be so wrong, that is almost cult-like behavior. That's like the cult leading you off the cliff. Okay, stop with QAnon, please. QAnon is the most cringe thing ever conceived. I would not say it's the most cringe thing ever conceived. There are far more cringe things ever conceived than QAnon. But it was a little bit cringe. I used to believe Sidney Powell and Lynn Wood, but I realized it was for nothing. Listen, I know we're doing this whole thing where we're like, hold the people who didn't stand up for Trump accountable. Sure, go ahead. We should do that. I endorse that. But also, we should hold the grifters accountable. The people who grifted, specifically the election, the election fight, right? Because voter fraud is a very serious thing. Addressing the issues of voter fraud that occurred in this 2020 election is a very serious matter. And there are so many people who, like, it is extremely important, because it's the very integrity of elections we're talking about. And there are so many people who basically grifted it. There's so many people who used it to gain their own name recognition or used it for their own personal self-gain. Quite frankly, a lot of the stuff Lynn Wood was saying about Mike Pence being hanged and all that stuff, like that, all that did was destroy the credibility. Okay, that damaged the credibility of Stop the Steal, of the election fraud fight, right? Because everyone, it just adds to the perception that people have that anyone who's talking about voter fraud is a crazy conspiracy theorist. There are so many people who just straight out lied or straight up used it all to make themselves more famous. We need to hold those people accountable because they took a very important issue and not only just used it for their own personal gain. Okay, that's whatever. You got to do what you got to do. But they also in many cases, actively hurt our efforts to fight election fraud. Lynn Wood damaged the credibility of Stop the Steal, of the whole Stop the Steal effort, of the election fraud fight. He damaged the credibility of his own court cases, right? Because all these ideas of election fraud that are being spread were being associated as a result of all this crazy crap that conspiracy theorists like Lynn Wood and Sidney Powell were saying. And Sidney Powell was not nearly as bad as Lynn Wood. Lynn Wood was the real one. But, they were absolutely grifting. Sidney Powell saying that the whole electoral college is going to be overturned and we have evidence that Trump won in a landslide, right? She was lying. She was lying when she said that, She was saying that all these states are going to be overturned and it never happened, right? first of all, she gave people false hope that she probably knew deep down was false hope, because she's not a stupid woman. She's a smart woman. So that's messed up as it is. But all of her antics, all her release the crack and stuff, right? When that ended up turning out to be nothing, when she actually released her reports and they're like, yeah, they do have some suspicious things in there, but they're not what she was promising, right? That damaged the election fraud fight so much, right? Because the first few weeks, it was like there was a genuine hope. Hey, maybe we can actually find enough fraud and overturn this election, right? But then these people like Lynn Wood and Sidney Powell just used it all to do whatever they were doing, and they damaged the fight. And ultimately they were detriments to the effort. It would have been better for them if they had just shut up and not actually been involved in it at all, quite frankly, right? And it is what it is now. But we should hold those people accountable too. We should not give those people our platform, right? We should not subscribe to what they say. We should unfollow them and to stay away from them in the same way we should stay away from the people who did not stand up for Trump when it mattered the most. Because almost, I would argue, worse than not standing up for Trump is pretending to stand up for Trump and grifting the fact that you're standing up for Trump. That is bad. So trust the plan. It's almost as bad as unity. Rather true. Rather true. Oh, yes. I forgot at the time the inauguration starts, we taking down the French flag and putting up taking down the American flag and putting up the French flag because we surrendered America. Never doing that. Okay. Number one, two reasons. Number one, simply because France is cringe. Okay. Sorry, French, but you're just cringe. Okay. You have a cringe history and you're a cringe country with your constant, tendency to surrender. But also number two, we're not surrendering a damn thing. Okay, we're gonna stand here, we're gonna fight, and we're gonna hold out for as long as possible, because that's what Americans do. What French do is like, oh guys, the person we don't like is in power now. Okay, surrender. Okay, let's run away. What Americans do is actually stand up and fight for these things. Okay, so we're not doing that. Don't do that. I do not endorse that. In fact, I not only not endorse that, I condemn that. That is cringe. Don't do that. Do you think Trump's departure will be streamed? I'm getting some indication that it will be. I'm hearing he's going to do some type of like departure ceremony. It's probably going to be really early in the morning. It's probably going to be before I wake up, so I'll probably watch it on YouTube replay. But I'm hearing that. I am hearing that he's going to do that. Why do liberals hate our country's flag? Because they hate what the country's flag stands for, right? They hate the values that founded America. We already know this. That's why they hate the flag so much, right? Because if you hold respect for the flag, the flag, yes, it is a piece of cloth. They always say that, but that's the thing. They just view it as a piece of cloth. They don't appreciate what it stands for, the magnificent history and values and ethos that it stands for. Mainly because in a lot of ways they disagree with it, right? They don't really believe that all men are created equal. They don't believe in the founding values of America. They play favoritism all the time, whether it's on the lines of race, class, whatever it is. They play favoritism, so they don't actually believe in equality. That is the biggest lie you ever hear from liberals and leftists, telling you that they believe in equality. They don't believe in equality. Sure, I guess you could say they believe in equality of outcome, but by nature, equality of outcome is not equality, right? They don't believe in the principles that founded America. That's why you have the 1619 Project and so many attempts to discredit the American founding. It would be one thing to say, oh, guys, the principles that founded America were good, and the American Revolution was good, but we believe that we have to apply these equally to other people, and we believe we are carrying on the fight of the American Revolution. That's fine. That's all fine, right? Even if we disagree on like what that looks like, that's fine. But the reason why they spend so much time actively trying to discredit the founding fathers, actively trying to discredit the American founding, is because they don't believe in those founding principles in the Declaration of Independence. They don't believe in the values that America was founded on, right? That is the reason why. And it was not always that way. Back when liberals were more moderate, you have Martin Luther King Jr. himself cited the Declaration of Independence, cited the American founding in his I Have a Dream speech as evidence of like, all I'm doing is carrying on this fight. But now it's the exact opposite. Now you have 1619, the 1619 Project from the New York Times basically saying that the entire founding of America was fraud. America was founded by evil values, and we need to radically overthrow America, radically transform the American system, and replace it with something completely different. That's not because they're like, oh, we believe in equality or whatever. We believe in they don't believe in the founding principles of America. That's why they want to discredit the founding, right? If they believed in the founding principles of America, but simply believed, oh, we need to apply them equally, or we need to apply them to, more groups, or expand them, or keep on that fight, right? Then they would say that. Then they would say, guys, we think the American founding was a good thing. All we're saying is that in order to truly live up to the founding principles of America, we have to do this, this, and that. There's still more work to be done. Many past liberals in this country used to say that. But the problem is now they've changed. Now they don't even believe in the founding principles of America at all. They fundamentally disagree with the principles in the Declaration of Independence. That's why they seek so much to discredit it, to discredit the people who wrote it, and to discredit the people who fought that revolution, okay? Little rant there, little tangent, but it's absolutely true, okay? That is the reason why they hate our flag, they hate our this country so much. It's not because they're like, oh, we just want to give equality to all people. No, you want to reverse equality for all people. So I will never understand why people like make accounts just to go into like streams like mine and go hate. Like, I'm not even that prominent. Like, dude, just get a life, seriously. Do you think some moderates will wake up after some time under Joe? Oh, I think many moderates. I think most moderates will wake up under Joe. The question is, will it be too late? Because if they go through with their plans and hopefully Joe Manchin stops it. Joe Manchin is the most powerful man in this country, by the way, right now. It's not going to be Joe Biden. It's going to be Joe Manchin, because he determines whether everything that the Democrats want passes or fails. But, Joe Manchin, if he doesn't stand up to sorry, my nose is really dusty over here. I gotta dust this. But if Joe Manchin doesn't stand up to the immigration plan and to the statehood plan, then it won't even matter, because the electorate will be rigged against the moderates. And then it's like right now, moderates technically control the American electorate. They are the deciding factor. But if they go through with the citizenship plan for 11 million illegal immigrants, guess what? The moderates no longer control the politics. The left controls the politics, and the moderates are, and all of us, but the moderates especially, are at their mercy. So hopefully, I'm sure they will wake up. I'm not even disputing that. I'm like, it will happen. Hopefully it's not too late, though. Hopefully it's not too late. Would you collab with John Doyle? That's what he does, right? No, yes. Actually, guys, little insider story. Don't leak this. Well, it's not like it's confidential, but I actually got in touch with him. I was very surprised that he responded to me, because I was like, he's probably like so busy, he doesn't check his Instagram. But he actually responded to me, and we started talking. And John Doyle actually agreed to come on a podcast with me. So I haven't asked him yet, because we're both kind of busy. I know it's like pivotal times right now, but when things start to calm down, we're doing a podcast with John Doyle. Okay, we actually he said yes. Okay, he can't back out now. So I'm just kidding. It's whatever he wants. But yes, I not only would collab with John Doyle, I most likely will be collabing with John Doyle. Okay, so like freaking epic. I love John Doyle so much. John Doyle is awesome. John Doyle is super based. No, indeed, he is. He is. I want to see Vince run for some sort of office position in the future. I don't know. I'll consider it. I mean, if I feel like it's my calling, I would do it. But I also want to be a commentator more than I want to be a politician. What happens when I'm older? But will you keep wearing MAGA gear? Periodically, yeah. I never wore MAGA gear on a super consistent basis to begin with, but like, yeah, I'm not throwing away this hat. I'll keep this hat. I don't have a Trump flag in this room. I have a Trump flag in the other room, but I will keep that. I'm not throwing any of that stuff away. MAGA hat stays on. Yes. It's gonna. By the way, it's gonna be a symbol for years to come. Like, you will see, it's not just a campaign hat. like clothing. It's not. It's more than that. You are going to see those red hats at conservative events for decades to come. Like probably decades. It is never, the MAGA hat's never going away. Show us your guns. That is not YouTube friendly, my friend. I cannot do that on a YouTube stream. Okay, maybe. How is your school going? It's terrible. Online school is a nightmare. Okay, it's just the worst thing ever. No one cares, and it's just the worst. It sucks. Hold on, let me check the chat a little bit more here. This channel lost me. Enjoy your low IQ propaganda. See, the thing is, David, I've been seeing your live chats throughout this whole thing. You just came in here. You probably are a hater that follows me on Instagram, and you saw this. You saw I was streaming, and you came in to attack me, and then pretend like you're some conservative when you're not. You're just an anti-Trump hater that follows these accounts to troll and attack, and that's fine. But don't pretend like you were ever going to listen to what we were saying in the first place, okay? But anyways, we've been streaming for like 2 hours now. I'm probably gonna wrap this up pretty soon. But you know what? Let's do this. I haven't done viewer call-ins on a stream in a while. Let me shoot. My AirPods are dead though. So how's this gonna work? That's gonna be a problem. But what we can do, because there's not that many people in the stream right now, we can do viewer call-ins, like basically the way radio shows do it. Like hop in if you want to talk about something real quick, ask me a question or whatever, say something short that's on your mind. We're gonna do that. So I'm gonna put the link in the live chat right now. Click that link. Join that link, whether you can do it on iPhone or you can do it on your computer. It's better on your computer, but you can do it on your cell phone too. Click that. Hold on, did it disappear? Why did it disappear like that? Oh no, here it is. Yeah, click this link, join this link. You will be inside my broadcast studio virtually, and then you can call in. So join it right now, guys. Let's do it. Let's have some fun. Whatever is on your mind. And real quick, while you guys file in to the studio, I will try to find. Let me just charge my AirPods. That's probably a good idea. I should have been doing that all along, but. All right. We're back. So yeah, just join in. That's the link right there. Copy paste it. Can't wait to see another crazy 12-year-old yell at you about Trump and TikTok. It's probably going to happen. It's funny because you just never know what's going to happen during viewer call-ins. That's part of the fun of it. Like, you just never know who's going to come in and just, like, say the worst stuff or try to troll or whatever, you know? But where's my other AirPod? I don't know where I put that. Let me plug this in. Get it charged for a few minutes. You know what? Hopefully there's no feedback. This was something. But okay. Looks like we got someone in the studio. His name is Jake. I'm just gonna hope there's no feedback. All right. Okay, my guy Jake. You are up. What's up, man?
I saw you at Student Action Summit. That was pretty cool.
Oh, really? Oh, nice. Did you say hi? I don't remember. I said hi to a lot of people. Did you say hi?
Yeah, I saw when Chandler was rapping on the stage and you were live streaming. I was there.
Oh yeah. Okay, that was fun.
Yeah.
What's up, man? Good to see you.
Who do you think is going to be the 2024 nominee?
Ron DeSantis. At least I hope. I hope it's not someone like Nikki Haley or whatever. But yeah, I think Ron DeSantis is probably the most. Assuming like Trump. I think if Trump does decide to run again, he'll probably win the Republican primary pretty easily because he's still very beloved in the party, right? But pragmatically speaking, assuming Trump doesn't run, I think Ron DeSantis is the best choice. He is basically the only one politician left in America that is still universally loved by the MAGA base, which is very powerful in the Republican Party. But also, people outside of the hardcore MAGA base really like him too, right? He's just generally a very popular candidate. People like the state of Florida. People like the way, especially in the Republican Party, people like the way the politics in Florida are going and are trending. And he's done a pretty good job. he does. He kind of has. He's kind of a Trump copy in a lot of ways. I think he is probably the not only the likely choice, but I think probably the best choice out of who we realistically could get.
I agree.
Yeah. All right, Jake. Thank you very much. Nice seeing you, and thanks for saying hi.
Yep.
All right. Next up, we got
Oh,
Smite.
Hello.
Hello.
Smite. Yes.
Yeah.
What? So I've got a question. What
Mhm.
kind of gun would you recommend for a first-time gun owner? Dang it, owner.
Okay, so I'm not like a super expert on guns, but obviously I think you have to be 21 to buy a handgun, right? So we're talking rifles probably as your first gun, right?
Yes, sir.
Right. Yeah. I just get an AR-15. Like, if you could afford it, they're a little bit more expensive, but I would just get an AR-15. They're not as scary as most people. Actually, I'm sure you've probably shot guns before, but so you're not like scared.
Yeah.
Of them, But they're
I
just,
live in Alabama, so
yeah.
we've definitely shot guns.
Yeah, they're just easy. They're simple. They're effective, right? It just gives you everything. It's not the best gun for home defense because 5.56 like goes through walls, and that's not really what you want for home defense. But actually, that's what I would get. That's what I get. See if you can get a 9mm AR-15. They have some. They're hard to find, but they have some of those. That's nice because it's like, you can't get a handgun until you're 21, but you have a rifle that you can use for home defense, and it's not, you don't have to worry about it killing your neighbor, right? As much,
Yeah.
obviously possible, but as much, right? So that's what I would say. 9mm AR-15. See if you can find one.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, no problem. Nice meeting you, man. I hope Chad Prather wins the election for governor of Texas. I heard Matthew McConaughey might actually be running too. Texas, man. It's like between Chad Prather and Matthew McConaughey for the Republican nominee. Gotta love Texas. Maybe I should move there. I gotta get out of the state, dude. And also, that's my advice. I forgot to say that on the podcast yesterday. That's my advice to people who live in deep blue states like me. Like, obviously, I got to graduate and then I can decide to go wherever I want. But get out of states like California and New York. They are lost electorally. There's going to be a lot of people say, "No, stay there and fight. It's useless. You're not gonna stay there and fight for what? Oh, stay there and go vote and still lose? Like, no. Get out of those states. Move to states like Arizona, Texas, Florida, Georgia, Tennessee, states where either are trending purple or are going to trend purple, but are still great states. Like, move there, and we need to save them. Like, if all the Republicans, if there was a huge Republican diaspora, right? Because I think they say California has the most registered Republicans out of any state. It's just that the state is so big, we're outnumbered, right? But if we all moved out to states like Arizona, Texas, Georgia, Florida, whatever, and I say Tennessee because Tennessee is growing very rapidly through interstate migration, so it's probably going to be where Texas is now. That's probably going to be Tennessee in like 10, 15 years, right? Move out to these states. If we all had a big diaspora, we could actually save the country, right? Because save the country, we could counter all this migration out to Texas from California by being Republicans that move out there. Like, seriously. So all California conservatives should migrate to states that matter electorally. Vince moved to Tennessee with Ben Shapiro. Ben Shapiro actually lives in Florida, but I might be moving to Florida. I'll let you guys know when the decision is made. But yeah, Alex bored. Yeah, Alex, feel free to come on in the stream or whatever. I'm from Arizona, where it's becoming more blue every day, sadly. Yeah, I know. Arizona used to be an amazing state, but nowadays, woo. But listen, if enough California conservatives moved out there, we could actually save the state. But anyways, Joshua Perez is in the stream. What's up, Joshua?
Hello.
Hello.
How's it going?
How's it going? I'm good. You?
I'm good. It's just sad that see Trump is leaving out of office in a couple more hours. He was a base president of the United States of America.
Yeah, no, he was great. It's like it's kind of bittersweet, right? Because it's like,
yeah,
we're celebrating him, but we're also really upset that he's leaving, right?
Yeah, and especially since I live in New York City right now, and New York City is being New York City. with all the drug addicts, BLM nonsense, Antifa nonsense, Bill de Blasio. You're right though. It's electoral loss at this
Yeah,
point.
it's never like that's why I hate when people say
And I'm always thinking about going to always thinking about as of right now staying in Georgia for a couple of years and move to Florida.
right.
Because
No,
Florida is base.
yeah.
Is literally the most base state besides Texas in the United States.
That's what I'm saying. We need to go move to these states and we need to save these states, right? We need to go save these states.
Yeah.
If we all moved out, they don't stand a chance. What are they going to do? All move out there too? Like,
Right.
no, we need to be ahead of the curve.
Right. And if Donald Trump doesn't win again in 2024, which I hope he does, I'd like to see Ron DeSantis or Josh Hawley as the nominee in 2024 because
I like those are great picks. I like those picks.
Because we don't want to see Nikki Neocon the bitch Haley. then I'm a soldier, but I'm a neocon soldier Crenshaw and Tom the backstabber Cotton. Because we don't want to go back to the 2000s Republican Party of the neoconservatives. We want to go to war. Bushism, because it never works. This is not the 2000s anymore. This is not the 1990s anymore. We are the new fucking Republican Party. So for my language, but it's the truth. Because look at the trends in Miami-Dade and Southern Texas. It's populism. Because
yeah, no, it is. It is. You're right. You're absolutely right. That's what I've been saying like this past few weeks. Yeah, you're absolutely right. I like your presidential picks too, my guy. Awesome.
Thank you.
All right.
Yeah. So anyway, all right, you too. Bye.
Bye. All right. Next on stream we got Al. Al or Al? Hello. How you doing?
What's up?
What's up? How you doing?
I'm good. So I think with the Twitter ban and social media stuff, I think this could help Trump because as a billionaire, he could start all these companies, his own social media and stuff like that. You know, it'd be cool. So you can be like, add me on Trump, you know?
No, I hope he starts his own social media platform. The only problem I see is that I bet you Apple and Google Play are going to not allow it on the App Store, right? And it's like it's really hard to use it. So that's why Gab is cool, but it's really hard to use Gab because there's no app. Like most people browse social media on their phone, not on their computer.
Exactly.
That we have to figure out. Trump has to bribe Apple somehow to get it on the App Store like that. Like, I don't know how he does it.
Yeah, that's true.
It's gotta like because. I'm not trying to go on Trump.com. Who visits websites? No one goes on websites, right? We go on apps, right? So, but I hope he does that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean that's all I got. And this election was stolen. We had ballots come from China, Italy, Germany. I don't know if you heard about that.
Some of it, yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
I love the content, by the way. Yeah, I love.
Thank you very much, Al. Nice meeting you.
See you.
See you. All right, next up we got Caesar.
All right, hey man. So I just wanted to ask you a question because you like went to like LA public schools like as a conservative. I wanted to ask you some like advice because I'm like pretty open on Instagram. Yeah, I just wanted to ask you advice to like deal with like friends and stuff like that.
Well, how's it going for you? Because not all schools are the same. There's some places in LA where you'll be like surprisingly well received, right? How's it gone for you so far?
It's been going all right. It's usually like just girls that are like get really offended, but the guys like don't care about politics, so they just like go along with it.
And okay, and here's another question: What grade are you in?
I'm in 8th. I'm gonna go to high school next year.
Okay, so you will get away with that up until like 10th grade. Your reason why is most kids, and you're ahead of your time, right? Most kids right now are not going to don't care about politics. That's probably why you're allowed to say it. So I would say get good, get strong, really learn how to articulate over the next few years, because that's going to be your grace period where you're like you'll be able to say things and no one's going to really care. Half the kids don't even know what you're talking about, okay? Because they're in 8th grade still, but once you get into like 11th or 12th grade, speaking from experience, that's when it's going to get really bad. Like that's when kids are going to start getting really involved and really angry at you. But the good news for you is that you're starting soon, so you'll be able to you'll be on point. You'll really be on know your stuff by the time that starts to come. But I would just say, keep doing it, keep speaking out. Don't let here's one thing I always tell the conservatives, because it always happens at some point where you're gonna have this huge mob of people after you, like you got canceled by someone, and now there's a huge mob of people after you. Remember that social media is not real life, right? Remember that it's all just stuff on a screen. So sometimes you'll be getting a day where you're getting a ton of hate, and a lot of people, this is the problem a lot of people have, they feel like we're used to seeing social media as real life, so it really hurts them, and they're like, they don't want everyone to talk about politics ever again. That's going to happen to you at some point. Just remember, these are idiots on the internet. They're not real people. They would never say this to my face. Sometimes it's necessary. Just turn off just don't look at your social media for a few hours. Go watch something, go have fun, come back. Just remember like that. Just always remember that, because there are going to be times where it gets really rough. Learn how to ignore your comments if you need to. Learn how to ignore your DM requests. You don't have to respond to every comment. You don't have to look at every comment. That's what I would say. And you just do that, and you'll stay strong.
All right, thanks.
Absolutely, Caesar. All right, we got my guy Smite here again. I usually don't allow people to come back twice, but you're here in the studio and no one else is. So what's up?
I didn't know I was the only one, but I guess it's sort of an honor. You're really one of my favorite conservative speakers of all time, and
really, I appreciate that.
It really is like the biggest honor of all time to get to speak to you.
Yeah, no problem, man. I appreciate it. I appreciate you watching and listening.
So I guess, do you mind if I ask a question that's non-political?
Sure. Go ahead.
What would you think if Minecraft added guns?
They already have that, don't they? There's Pixel Gun. Is that still a thing? I remember that was a thing when I was a kid.
Yeah. No, I don't think it's really much of a thing anymore.
Oh, well, they should just bring back. That would actually be pretty. Well, I'm sure they could do it through mods, but yeah, that would actually be pretty cool if Minecraft added guns, because they should. I thought about this when I was little. They should do like a 21st century sequel of Minecraft where there's like modern technology. Like you're still in the woods, but there's modern technology, so there's like guns and electricity and stuff. That would be pretty cool, I think. I'm sure there's already games like that, but that would be pretty cool.
Except everything's just blocky.
Yeah, everything's just blocky, exactly.
So, is there anyone else?
Yeah, I got people in the studio. I just have to put the link in the stream again. But you came here a second time. I was like, screw it, I'll take them in a second time.
Well, I guess. How about you ask me a question?
Ask you a question. Okay. Let's see. So you live in Alabama, right?
Sure.
Are you actually, I shouldn't ask that. Isn't everyone in Alabama a college football fan? Are you an Alabama fan or Auburn fan?
Bama all the way. We literally have a whole setup over there dedicated to Alabama.
Let's see it. Show it.
Oh, I bet. Okay. Okay, I guess I'll just. Here it is. Since I have no clue how to switch the phone around, we have the Sweet 16. We have some. Sorry if my hand's shaking. It's just.
You're good.
It's kind of nerve-wracking. We have some signed magazines.
One signed by Nick Saban.
Yeah, one of them is signed by Nick Saban himself.
Wow! All right, nice.
We also have who's Jalen Hurts' helmet.
Nice.
And we have a Tennessee Titans helmet too.
Was that signed by Derrick Henry?
Yes, sir.
Nice. All right. Nice. Not bad.
And we just have some little pictures around here. I can't remember who signed this one. Apparently, who? Reggie Ragnar. Raglan. Sorry, I'm an Alabama fan, but not a big Alabama fan. I hope you can see
I
this
don't know what
all.
that is either.
By the way,
What?
uh, huh?
What'd you say? I didn't hear you.
I hope you can see this right.
Yeah, we can see it.
Because I feel like I'm messing up on something. But we're just especially my brother, he's a big Alabama fan. Like you should see him watching football. It's amazing.
All right, well,
Tell him wait, you're gonna go, right?
no, go ahead.
Okay, so my brother personally met Nick Saban once
All right,
whenever he
not
was
bad.
little. And you should, Chad, you should tell him the story.
All right. All right. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right. So it was after the game. We were going down to the, where the players come out, and there's a little gate where apparently Nick Saban was there. So we stood in a line, and we got to go into that gate, and we got to get an autograph and a picture with him. So yeah, it was great.
It was more than just that. He literally drove up to you in
Oh,
his
yeah.
car.
Yeah, he stopped by in his car, and that time I got to get a picture with him. So yeah, it was amazing.
That's awesome, man. And congratulations on the national. I mean, I shouldn't even say congratulations because you guys are so used to it, but congratulations on the national title this year.
Yeah, I'm hoping to get the ring because I've been wanting to collect those.
Mhm.
But
All
yeah,
right,
it feels good to have. It feels good to have 18, especially.
18, yeah, that's crazy. All right, well, thank you very much, guys. I'm gonna head on over to the other people in the caller list that are lined up, but thank you very much, guys, and congratulations on the national title.
Thank you. I'll see you later.
See you.
Hey guys.
All right. We got I'm gonna add Addison first because his camera's on, so I know who he is. All right, what's up, Addison?
What's going on, man?
What's up?
I don't know if you saw my comment, but man, I think that this Biden presidency that we're about to go through is the greatest thing that can happen for America's future. And I know it seems odd to say, but when you think about it in the long term of kind of what leftists believe in the kinds of ways that they think it's going to be different because we're gonna do it different. But the fact of the matter is that the policies they're going to propose, they just flat out don't work. And the only way for them to realize the idiocies of their belief is if they actually live through it. You don't hear a lot of Venezuelan and Cuban immigrants who come here praising the great things about socialism and communism. And the reason why is because they actually lived through that experience. And it's only going to be that way for us if leftists actually live through it. And as much as it pains me to say, we're going to have to endure it. That's the only way that I see there being some major changes to ideological views in the country. It's the only way.
No, I see. I agree with you. I hear what you're saying. The only reason I wouldn't say I root for that to happen is just because you don't know how that's going to end, right? You don't actually, because you might say, yeah, it makes sense. If the country goes too far to the left, then the pendulum's going to swing really hard back to the right, and that's great. But then what happens if that doesn't happen, right? Because when things get really bad in a country, it's volatile. You really don't know how it's going to end, right? It could as equally end with all the socialists taking power. They go further left because they're like, see, the establishment Democratic Party failed us, so now let's go even further left, right? It could as equally go on that route. But yeah,
it's only just going to fall on the slope even further if it goes that way, and it's just going to keep on bouncing right back. So it's not going to be like something serious, right? So,
well, hopefully, as long as Biden doesn't give citizenship to 11 million illegal immigrants and add DC and Puerto Rico to the union, because they go through that's part of why I think they're pushing that so hard, is because they know that there's going to be a backlash to this stuff, and they're trying to not allow that to happen by basically changing the entire electorate, and that's my concern. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you're right. We're sort of in a hard times create strong men sort of scenario. You know,
Right.
we're in that stage of it all, and
Yeah.
that's basically what's going to have to happen. I agree with
There's
you.
that old phrase, like sometimes you have to take one step back to take two steps forward.
I know.
This is
Yeah,
it.
that's
Right.
definitely. Like I said, there's going to be a lot of "I told you so," and it's going to be a big "I told you so" for a lot of conservatives over the next 4 years. Yeah. So, anyways,
Thanks for
Addison,
having me join, man.
yeah, I appreciate it. Nice meeting you. All right, well, we'll do a political geek next. Hello, you're on the show.
Okay. Sorry.
Okay. Can you turn your camera on, my guy? I mean, I don't know if you have a camera, but come on, people want to. Okay. All right. Next up, we have Kev. He just left. Kev left too. All right. Cool. Well, that's nice. All right. Let me put the link in the stream again. We're doing call-ins. We'll do like 2-3 more call-ins. Actually, I'll just do one more round. Whoever shows up in the chat can call in, and then we'll. So I put the link in the chat one more time. We'll do one last round, and then we'll call it a night. So whoever joins in this round is the last group. He got nervous. There's only 50 people watching the stream right now, man. It's not like he's like on Fox News, for God's sakes. I shouldn't say Fox News anymore. I should say Newsmax or whatever. But okay, we got Emma. Hello, Emma. Hi.
So I have a question about like who is the future of like the Republican Party, and not just the party, but kind of like the conservative Trump movement, I guess.
Yeah, it's like, well, there's a few different like figures we need, right? Politically speaking, like I keep saying, I think it should be like Ron DeSantis and maybe Josh Hawley. Josh Hawley's cool too. Like we should, because I don't know if there's like some grassroots candidate that's gonna rise and just be like so perfect, but I think they're pragmatic choices to continue to further the Trump agenda. In terms of the media, right? I think of establishment media, probably like Tucker Carlson, you know, of YouTube media, probably like, you know, John Doyle. We need those sort of America first, make America great again brand of conservatives, not just a generic, you know, small government sort of brand of conservatives. That's who we need. I would pick out those people, and there's not going to be one leader anymore the way Trump was, right? Instead, because Trump dominates the media, social media, and you know, the politics. Now that he's gone, I mean, he's still going to be there. Don't get me wrong, but now that he's out of office, it's going to have to be more decentralized, where we're going to have a spokesperson in each one of these different fields, right? But that's what I think. Yeah.
And I also wanted to make a comment like on this needs to like Biden's presidency needs to happen because they need to see the wrong ways. My only worry is I work at a gas station. I'm 17. I work at a gas station, kind of a side job thing. And I had a guy come in the other day, and he had Venezuelan currency. He just showed it to me, and he was like, it was like it said 10 on it, and he said it would take a crate full of them to buy a loaf of bread in America now. And that's my worry, like just with our country right now, the way it's going, I worry that when I'm older and when, you know, we're in our older stages of life, it's going to be to that point.
See, yeah, we'll see. That's the problem, right? That's the problem, is that you don't know whether if it gets close to the cliff, everyone's going to get really freaked out and come back, or it's just going to slide off the cliff. That's why it's like you don't really know how it's going to end. That's why I'm not a huge fan of that idea. But it might be. I think it's sort of the only thing choice we have left at this point.
Yeah, it really is.
Anyways, thank you very much for coming on.
Thanks.
Nice meeting you. All right. Last round. I don't have anyone else in the studio, so I'll post the link one more time. Last call, guys. If you guys want to call in, and then we're going to call it a night. We'll be streaming tomorrow. You know what? Let's start streaming once a week. Why don't we start streaming once a week? And I'll be more organized on my streams. I should actually. All right, one last call. If you want to call in, say hi, ask your question, whatever you want, come join. And this is the final stream of Trump's presidency. Okay, so you know, come on. Be the person that called into the stream at the final moment of Trump's presidency. Come on, that's cool. That's epic. But Abby says I want to, but I look like a freaking mess right now. No one's gonna judge you. No one's gonna judge you. All right, we got Alex in here. Hello, Alex. You were on the show. What's up?
Oh my God, I can't hear anything. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. We can hear you.
I can barely hear anything. It sounds like a robot. I just called in to say hi and everything. I have no idea. Nothing really to ask. I mean, all of the questions I would have were kind of answered throughout the stream, but that's pretty much it. Just God bless. It's going to be a rough 2 years. Hopefully 2 years with the Democrats in office. Hopefully we can win back either Congress or the Senate, or the House or the Senate, but you know.
I hope so too. All right, he just left. All right, peace out, Alex. Nice meeting you. My man Smite just keeps joining. What's up, Smite?
So I have another question about guns.
Sure.
So how bad will it be about Biden's tax plan for guns? Because I've heard that it's outrageous. Like
it is. I think it. I forgot if it's $200 or $300 for every single assault rifle, quote unquote, which is basically anything that looks scary. So every single assault rifle, quotations, and every single 30-round magazine. So I think our family would have to pay like $2,000-$3,000 in taxes just for all the 30-round mags. Yeah, that's it's pretty bad. What I'm hoping is like, actually, it's a tax. That's why it's how do you enforce? I don't know. So what they need to do. That's what it is. Okay, so here's how it goes. I'm remembering it now because here's how it goes. So basically, you have to register every single one of your ARs, AKs, and 30-round magazines. Like you have to register it with the federal government. There's a national registry, right? In order to register that, you have to pay a tax/gun fee to register it. That's like $200-$300. But you can also choose to simply not register it. You can just choose to not register it. And that's what, frankly, I think most people are going to do. So, you know, you're technically a felon. You technically have the ATF. But if everyone does it, who are they going to catch, right? And no one's going to do that. Yeah. So we're going to have like 50 million people in this country are going to be basically felons. But, you know, it's fine. They can't take us all to the gulags, right? So that's what we got to do. Nullify. Don't follow it. It's unconstitutional laws. Don't follow them. So. All right, Smite. Thank you. Folks, we have the ultimate guest. Al Gore has arrived in the stream. Hello, Al Gore. Let me hold on. Give me a second. I need to turn on the name tag so that people understand that Al Gore is here in the stream. Where is the I can't hold on. Give me a second, Al Gore. There you go. Show display names. All right, folks. Al Gore has arrived. Hello, Al Gore.
I only have a few minutes to talk, but this is the most serial thing I've ever discovered. I'm currently in a secret underground laboratory where they're testing humans for man-bear-pig research. I think they're trying to make more like him. I'm serial. Oh, jeez. I think man-bear-pig is actually behind this whole election fraud thing. It's clear to me now that he is the one in charge of everything, including the Democratic Party. I need reinforcements as soon as possible, but there's no one here for man-bear-pig awareness.
Well, don't worry, Al Gore. I am a strong advocate of man-bear-pig awareness. So, what do you need, sir?
$50 trillion stimulus package and many, many troop supporters.
Well, look, listen, okay? Republicans don't care about fiscal conservatism anyway, so I see we do it. I endorse a $50 trillion plan to stop man-bear-pig. But that is crazy. They're doing human testing like freaking Nazi Germany. I mean, that's insane. They're trying to reproduce man-bear-pig.
Yes, it appears that man-bear-pig has super telekinesis powers and telepathy in order to manipulate these scientists to create more man-bear-pigs like him. Ugh.
Why? So, Al, this is like such a serious threat to humanity. How come nobody believes that the threat of man, bear, pig is real? Like, I don't understand.
They don't take me serial.
They
I don't know
don't take you
why.
serial, dude. Like, but why? I don't understand. Why don't they take you serial?
Man Bear Pig is the most evil and like craziest thing to ever come into this world. I mean, he's been around for almost a millennia now, I'm pretty sure, and I've been studying him ever since I was 13 years old. Man Bear Pig goes way back in the history books. I'm almost positive Man Bear Pig killed JFK as well, but that's to be discussed at a later time.
I think Man Bear Pig probably started he probably caused the bubonic plague, right? That was actually, they say the scientific name for that virus is HK Man Bear Pig 47, right? So
yeah, I'm not sure how he got here. That's what I'm really studying down here. Maybe if I can capture Man Bear Pig, I can figure out a whole bunch of information about him.
Have you noticed any like have you gotten any specimens like hair or droppings?
I have discovered some feces here on the floor. I've been studying it, but it's hard to get around in this laboratory with all the security here.
Well,
the feces are
you're former vice president. They don't just let you in. I mean, that's kind of surprising to me. Shouldn't they?
Come on, nobody took me cereal. They're not going to take me cereal now.
Sure, nobody took you cereal, but I mean, still, man, you should have some type of security clearance. You're the former vice president.
I don't think so because again, they're all manipulated by Man Bear Pig. It's like they're brainwashed.
That is very true. Actually, Al, do you I know we were talking. You said you want to you have a presentation on Man Bear Pig. Are you able to give that presentation right now?
My computer is dead and at home, but I can get it the next time you stream.
Okay, next time we stream, make sure you're
tomorrow, right?
Okay, yeah, tomorrow at the end of the stream, you need to come give your presentation on Man Bear Pig.
I absolutely will, but I must go face Man Bear Pig alone now, for he is near. I can sense him.
Okay, Godspeed, Al Gore. See you later.
Godspeed and Excelsior.
I don't know why nobody takes Al Gore seriously. Okay, Man Bear Pig is a very real threat to humanity, and this is ridiculous that nobody takes him serial. But anyways, guys, I'm gonna wrap up the stream tonight. Thank you, President Trump. Like, honest to God, thank you for an amazing 4 years as president. But all the accomplishments that I'm sure are on your website, stuff like that. Like those are material things that aren't even of the most important. You taught us how to fight. Okay, you taught conservatives in this country how to stand up to themselves for themselves. How to not stick around and be bullied like a bunch of webs. And for that, we are forever in your gratitude. And for saving, actually, people say you destroyed conservatism. For saving conservatism, we are forever in your gratitude. And on a personal level, I will not be doing any of this, which I love and I enjoy it very much, but I would not be here doing any of this stuff if it wasn't for President Trump. And like I appreciate you very much, Mr. President. We appreciate you. I know they're trying to convince you that everyone hates you and everyone is against you. It's very, very sad what they're doing. Actually, they're trying to like outcast Trump as much as possible, but we always got your back. Okay, your whole life. Listen, Mr. President, the people, your base, your supporters, we got your back your whole life. Okay, whatever you need, your whole life. All right, the people got you. All right, don't let these scumbags get in your head, try to tell you that you're leaving it as a disgraced president, all this stuff. Like, we always got your six. Okay. But anyways, guys, I'm going to wrap it up here. We're going to stream tomorrow evening after the inauguration. We might like watch some of the replay of it, because I'm sure most of you guys have school and stuff like during the inauguration. It's such a weird time of the day on a Wednesday too. Like, the inauguration should be on a Saturday, hot take. But we'll be streaming tomorrow. And, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Before you leave, make sure you leave a like on this video. And again, also for those of you guys who don't know, some of you guys asked, I do have a podcast. Yes, it is here on YouTube. It is also on iTunes, Spotify, and Audible every Monday and Thursday. Although I might change it so that's only once a week and stream more during the week. I don't know. I'll figure it out. But for now, every Monday and Thursday. Did I say Wednesday? Every Monday and Thursday, we have the podcast, The Sound of Dao, here on YouTube. So you can just subscribe to my YouTube channel and watch it, but that's also on iTunes and Spotify. And until then, tomorrow, I'll see you guys all tomorrow. Remember, alpha moves only. Have a good night. Soak it all in, folks. Take it all in. You're in the final moments here. Enjoy it. say thanks, and remember, alpha moves only. See you guys next time. Good night, guys.